Good morning, everyone. Thank you, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you so much for joining us. This is DeepTarget's user group webinar for the month of April 2019. I'm David Kingsbury. I run our customer success program here, and I'm super happy to also have with me this morning my sidekick in crime, Helen Triplett.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everybody.
Good morning, Helen. How are you? And we have a special guest today who will provide some great details on a lot of insights, data insights. We call him the data scientist here. We have Sagar Cashew with us. Good morning, Sagar. How are you?
Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
Fantastic. That's great. So, guys, we have a packed agenda once again today, and we have a guest speaker who's going to join us here in just a minute. I'll keep you guys in the dark on that. But the topics we're going to cover today are actually very similar to what we have been covering in the past, but just to reiterate a lot of them, we're going to touch on some digital marketing trends as usual. We're going to have Helen's hints. She's going to go into some details for you. We're going to have Sagar's insights. We're going to look at detargeting again. We got some. We have several of our customers now using detargeting. We just want to make sure you guys are aware of it as well. And then, of course, we have our digital marketing campaign of the month and digital marketing superstar of the month that we're really excited to promote and share with you guys today. So with that, we'll just go ahead and get started. I just have a couple of articles I want to draw your attention to, and when I send out the PDF of this, you'll have the link as well for both of the articles. The first one is from the Boston Consulting Group, and our focus really today on the webinar, Helen, right, is
personalization.
Personalization, that's right. And for many of you guys who have joined us over the past several months, we focused on that, and we'll continue to do that because it has become such a top priority to actually orchestrate a set of tailored experiences across your digital and human channels. What does personalization in banking really mean? Understanding of each customer's unique needs. And we've talked about this over time, about every single moment or every single day, there are several financial life events that face each one of your customers or members, and trying to tap into that one is so important for them and for yourselves, right? So this is a great article. I just throw this up here for you guys to take a look at, because if you can have a better understanding of your customers' unique needs, then you can provide that relevant offer in time for it. This is an article we talked about last time, and it's the 4 major digital marketing trends from a great provider of information called the Financial Brand. And number 1 is nothing is more critical than the digital customer experience. And just to remind you that within your digital campaigns, you can have data-driven marketing, which is what we do with our rule-based technology, marketing automation, which a little bit of what Sagar is going to talk about today, and then having that compelling content, which Helen's going to talk about today. So really great concepts. So nothing's more important than that digital customer experience. And number 2 on the list is the power of personalizing that customer journey. So just as a reminder, it's so important that you personalize your digital marketing campaigns as best you can so that you can engage your members or customers. Okay? So that's all really I wanted to cover about that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the famous Helen's hints and go right into personalization. Correct?
Right. That's right. So go ahead, David. As David alluded to in his previous slides, there are multiple ways that you can personalize. Some are through automation, and that's what DeepTarget can provide you with rule-based campaigns, list-based campaigns. And with that, within the rule-based campaigns, depending on what you have in your data fields and the demographics that you have there at your financial institution, you can personalize, not necessarily with their name, but you're personalizing the experience that they have based on the accounts and the rules and things that you set up for them. Also, one of the things that we've talked about over the last year particularly is generational targeting. It's very important in generational targeting to have, I mean, you're going to do that with your rules, but also you need to be looking at your images and your messaging that you're using. Now, some of these images that you see over here on the right are some that we have in our Deep Target image library. You're free to use those for any of your ads, but it just shows you the different types of folks that are all happy.
That's right.
Having a happy
I was going to say, what do you
know?
see familiar with within each of these? It's smiling faces, right? And
that's, you know, that's appealing to people. But the messaging there is, we're going to show some examples on a future slide, are messagings to those particular groups. So that's important to look at.
Right.
Also within deep targeting, many of you know how to prepin first name. So that gets you very specific to that person, and they're going to see their name when they see a banner. And then Sagar's going to talk about detargeting. And you may not think detargeting is a way to personalize, but it is, because if somebody is not interested in what you're promoting, then it's going to take those away for a period of time and then bring them back. So maybe their experience over time or the things that they're interested in are going to change.
That's right. And all of these, we believe, are quite easy to set up, and we have all sorts of resources to assist you in that. Okay, great, Helen. Next.
So the next slide is, this is an example that we've shown before. This is Hidden River CU, some examples from them where they did generational targeting, but they also had very specific images and they had very specific messaging.
That's right. That's right. So Julia, who runs the marketing there at Hidden River, actually researched and found each of these 3 words per campaign ad resonated with the generation that she was targeting, and you know, she had phenomenal results with that. So that's really important. Statistics today say that you have only 2 seconds to capture interest. The first half second is image related. People want to see an image, and then the next 1.5 seconds is actually the message. So if you catch them in that 2 seconds, then they're going to react to your call to action. I don't want to say that they're mesmerized completely, but you need that call to action to say, let's go now. In fact, I think we have some of those examples here.
Right. Well, and, in this example, she used the same image layout, but she used different images for those different groups. And she also had her different messaging. Now, in the next example we're going to show.
Well, but before you say that, so each one was targeted to a different age demographic. So the baby boomers did not see the millennial image. So there wasn't a repetitive nature of the form or the look or the feel, but it actually was a really nice, familiar, and clean-looking ad for each of the targeted segments. Okay, great. Next.
In our next example, this was what Eglin FCU used. They used the same layout. They used the same message, actually, for all of their ads, but they went like a step further. They did image-based demographic, but they also did based on gender.
That's right.
So, they had many ads that they used there, but it was, very specific to that gender and demographic.
That's right, and had phenomenal results as well. And again, the image draws them in because it's a familiar, recognizable image, and then the message, and great rate and so forth. And this was run last year, so these are not active right now. Right?
So in that earlier example, we talked about this is rule-based, data-driven, image and messaging are the things that were used on these particular ads.
Right. Great. Good, Helen.
Okay, and now our next slide, as you know, in the banner editor, if you're using DeepTarget to create your ads, or if you are uploading your own ads, you can always prepin the first name of the member or the user that is for that particular ad. And all you have to do is upload your image and then click the prepin first name checkbox there, and then you'll see something like this come up. So this particular ad says reach your savings goal with a new deposit account. This one's going to Mark, but David, yours would say David.
That's right.
So that's a good way that you can get personalization down to the individual.
That's right. And many of you also, we don't have an example of it, many of you know that we also suggest you have a happy birthday ad that shows up occasionally for perhaps the month of your user's birthday. And that can be also personalized, and everybody really enjoys that. I know I love seeing happy birthday, David. I'm just like that.
We all like to have our special day.
That's right.
Remembered.
That's right. That's right. Okay, excellent. So
I did want to mention that we have some new images in the image library, and these are just some examples of them. We try to put some new ones up there every month. These this month are targeted looking at autos and graduation or scholarship. Now I know a lot of the institutions have scholarships for graduating seniors and things like that, and you can certainly use any of these images there.
Awesome. Yeah, and this what does this one mean when I've got all this money flying out the? I'm sorry. Oh, it's a scholarship. Okay, get money. Okay.
That's going to be very appealing, and you don't have to just get that to the young people. That you could get that to the parents, because the parents are the ones that are going to make their kids apply for the scholarship.
Make sure the parents see the scholarship availability.
That's important.
That's right. Good. I was teasing. Okay.
And then I just wanted to show you some examples. These are all using DeepTarget images and DeepTarget fonts and things that are in the application, but these are focused on deposits. I know a lot of you institutions have kids club accounts. You're trying to get little kids to start saving or train them to save.
Right.
So that's what that one is. The second one is, be the guardian of your galaxy. That's appealing to a lot of young people that like the Avengers and Marvel and all that kind of thing. But that's gets them on a path to saving.
Who doesn't like Chris Pratt? I mean, Chris Pratt is he's. In fact, I look just like him most of the time. Okay.
And some of these other images, but the one with the dog on ice, that's you don't have an emergency fund. An emergency fund is very important, particularly for these young individuals starting.
That's right.
And so, your graduation money, start your emergency fund, getting them on healthy savings habits, and then some other graphics there.
And honestly, all of us, and Helen and I specifically, we pore over all of the ads you guys are putting out, and some of them are just absolutely amazing. So, congratulations to all the efforts that you guys put into it. But I am real proud of what Helen does. Helen goes out, and we do have copyright-free images on DeepTarget that you can utilize at any time. And remember, you can change it up. You can run just a couple weeks a look and then go change it, that kind of thing. And it doesn't take a lot of time, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, great. Thank you, Helen, for that.
And the next one are some new auto images that are out there.
These are sharp.
So we just wanted to show that you can use the images in both the horizontal and the vertical type ads.
That's right. Aren't those crisp? Looking at sunset mirror image. Yeah. Fortunately, my car's not that new. So good looking stuff. So thank you, Helen, for that. And notice, a lot of taglines, or if you will, messaging that Helen's come up with. We've got a lot of other as well. But if you guys have any questions about setting up an ad, remember you can reach out to our support team at support@deeptarget.com, and you'll get, perhaps might even get the amazing Helen or Sagar on the phone to help you. So great. Okay, so speaking of Sagar's Insights today is going to cover detargeting campaigns in a little more depth for everybody, although very easy to implement, I'll say. Right, Sagar?
That's right.
But there's some interesting, if you will, algorithms going on behind the scenes. So with that, Sagar, I'll let you take over.
All right. So thanks, David. So detargeting is a very unique way inside DeepTarget, which allows you to personalize your ads by showing the right promotions to the right members at the right time. It's an automatic way that you can use to deactivate the campaigns for members who are not showing interest towards a certain kind of promotion, and then reactivate the campaigns when they are ready to take interest in that campaign that you're running. Your customers' click is the main factor which accounts for the engagement and which helps understand what kind of interest are the members showing for a given campaign.
you're working with several FIs right now.
Yeah, we have several FIs that are currently implementing detargeting and getting some great results.
That's right.
Out there. And one thing to note here is that detargeting works specifically for targeted campaigns only.
Right.
And for those targeted campaigns, there are basically 3 different inputs that you need to mention in order to activate detargeting. The first one is your target on days, which basically determines the time window that is checked to determine whether a member is showing engagement towards the campaign or not, and whether to keep that campaign active going forward. The minimum number of impressions is the second key parameter, which helps understand if a member has seen a campaign enough number of times before figuring out whether the level of engagement is sufficient or not.
Right.
And the last input, which is your target off days, helps keep your campaign deactivated for those number of days which you set up in the target off days. So that's what those 3 key inputs are. And we're going to take a look at how your detargeting basically works in the background and how you can basically utilize it to get the best out of your campaign. The detargeting, one thing important to note about detargeting is that all the checks that happen with regards to the engagement or the minimum impressions, they are checked for each and every individual user who is seeing a campaign, and for all the campaigns that they're eligible to see using detargeting.
So Sagar, let me make sure I understand this completely.
Sure.
So let's say we have Bob, and he currently qualifies for 4 targeted campaigns.
Right.
Right. And therefore, the system is just going to watch Bob individually and see, check his level of engagement. Is that correct?
For each of those campaigns.
For each campaign, yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
So I could actually turn this on for all of my targeted campaigns.
Yep.
And the system will monitor every single individual that is in my system, online banking or mobile or combined, and track them basically on a daily basis.
Yep.
And then turn on and off campaigns that we deem are not of interest. So how do you know how to set your on days or your off days? How do you know that?
So that is a great question, and we do help out our customers who are interested in using detargeting. So we run different reports on the back end, which provide information about what should be the target on days that they should go with based on their past performance.
Yeah.
Right, so we don't want to go in there blindly.
Right.
We do have a way to get to the lower data.
Right.
And so we can make,
Smart
choices.
Right.
About what,
decisions. Correct.
That's right. So
what value should go there.
So great. Good to know. Thank you, Sagar.
Great questions. Thank you, David. So to understand the workflow, so firstly you set up the 3 different inputs that we talked about. And in this case, we're going to use 60 days as the target on-day period. Then we're going to check for a minimum of 10 impressions. And we're going to turn off the campaign for 30 days if there has been no engagement from a particular user. So when you publish a campaign, the campaign instantly is activated and it starts showing for all your targeted users, depending on what the rule is. The campaign stays active for a period of 60 days, which is your target on-day time period. And after those 60 days are over, for each individual user who was targeted with that campaign, the system checks for if the minimum number of impressions were reached for each individual user. And if any user did not have sufficient impressions, then the campaign stays active for the next 60 days. So it goes back to the active mode. But if a user has had enough number of impressions, then it checks whether the person has clicked or not on that campaign. And based on the click on or the engagement of each user on that campaign, if they have clicked on the campaign, then that means the user is still interested in that campaign. So for the next 60 days, the campaign is again going to go into the active mode and still keep showing for that member or that user. If they haven't clicked on the campaign, then the campaign turns off for a period of the target off days that you set, which is 30 days. And after those 30 days are up, it will again automatically switch back to the active mode. So it automatically keeps that cycle going based on the kind of engagement your members are seeing and when they're interested in the campaign and when they're not. So, and also whenever your members end up opening an account after showing the click or engagement towards a campaign, the rule of the campaign automatically turns the campaign off, and so that user will stop seeing the campaign altogether.
Great. Do you have an example of that, Sagar?
Great. I'm glad you asked. So here's an example. We're going to look at two people, Bob and Sue. So Bob, let's say, saw a consumer loan campaign, and we activated the consumer loan campaign, and he's seeing the campaign for 60 days. After the 60-day period, the system checks if Bob has seen the campaign 10 times or not. And let's assume in this case, he did see the campaign 10 times or more, and but he did not click on the campaign. So since he did not click on the campaign, the system determines that there has not been an engagement towards that campaign from Bob. And automatically, the campaign turns off for the next 30 days for Bob. And once those 30 days are over, then the campaign again switches back on for the next 60-day period. So that cycle keeps on going for Bob, depending on when he's clicking on the campaign or if he hasn't clicked on the campaign. On the other hand, in case of Sue, when she initially saw the campaign for the 60-day period, assuming 10 times or more, she did click on the campaign, and so she showed some interest towards the promotion that you had running. So in that case, the campaign will keep on continuing to show for Sue over the next 60-day period again. And by the end of those second cycle of 60 days, the campaign will again check if the engagement is still continuing from Sue's side or not. And assuming that she did click on the campaign again, the campaign will continue to show over another 60 days. And if in between those 60-day periods she decides to open the account, and the system determines that, okay, we have the information about Sue that she's opened the account, then the campaign will automatically vanish.
Yeah, the system will remove
Correct.
her from that.
Correct. So she'll stop seeing the campaign.
That's right.
Altogether. Right. So that's the whole idea behind DeepTargeting, to automate the kind of campaigns or what campaigns each member should see at what time. And it's all automatically done in the back end, so there's not a lot of human intervention.
So some people might say, Sagar, well, why don't you just make this automated completely inside of the system, so I don't have to think about it? And the answer is that we actually, at this point, want to give you guys control over these parameters that Sagar spoke of: 60 days on, 30 days off, and that sort of thing. We have had a couple of our customers say, well, could you suggest what would be the optimal way, and just have that default into the system? And we are considering that, but we're still researching to see the best setup for us, which is why we'd want you to get in touch with us, and we'll run those reports for you, and let you then give you the suggestions that we have. So in any case, so great, Sagar.
Yeah. So just to summarize everything that we talked about DeepTargeting. So the main purpose of DeepTargeting is to keep your campaigns relevant for each individual member or user at all times, either through online banking or mobile banking channels. It also helps, as a result, optimize the click efficiency of your campaigns, since your members always tend to see the relevant campaigns which they're interested in. One big perk about DeepTargeting is that it works very effectively even if you have a large number of campaigns published. So if you have 10 or more targeted campaigns that you're running towards your member, and you really want all of them campaigns, all of those promotions out there, and but using DeepTargeting, you can automatically, the system can automatically figure out which campaigns to show to which consumers and which to turn off. And by nature of detargeting, it also accounts for the seasonal trends in different kind of product categories that you promote. So if in a given month you have consumer loans which tend to show a lot more interest, then the impressions in consumer loans will continue to be high for those period of time, and others will automatically come down based on detargeting.
Great.
So that's kind of the whole idea about detargeting.
Excellent. So any one of you guys that wants some more insight, we could set you up with an appointment with Sagar for more details, because he's got a lot more insight that he could share, I know. Okay? So great job, Sagar. Thank you so much. So we're going to now move to the second half of our presentation, actually the final third or so, and we're real excited. We're going to actually cover a case study with Memphis City Employees Credit Union. And with us today is Ethan Blackstone. Ethan, are you out there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, Ethan. So Helen and I, again, we poured over a ton of all of the DeepTarget accounts recently. And what Ethan's doing at Memphis actually bubbled to the top really, really well. Ethan, how long have you been with Memphis at this point?
I've been with the credit union for 3 years. In this current position that I'm in for about 3 months.
3 months. So, you know, what struck us was Ethan showed up on a webinar in December timeframe, and then Helen, didn't he reach out to you?
Scheduled training.
That's right.
Yep.
He said, let's get some training going, and the team jumped on, and Ethan showed all this enthusiasm for DeepTarget, and it was pretty amazing. So Memphis City Employees is about 270 plus. It's over 275 million in assets. 15,000 digital users today. They use both DeepTarget online banking and mobile. And we're just going to show you some of the highlights of their implementation that Helen and I found to be pretty amazing. First of all, they have Ethan set up a broad category of campaigns across the main product categories, if you will: auto loan, mortgage, consumer loan, saving, credit card, and home equity. And really great responsiveness. Impression levels pretty even across the board, and then responsiveness is very, very high. Right, Helen?
It is, and it's really, you look at responsiveness across all categories, they're all really doing well.
That's right. And so we take that, well, I'll ask Ethan, are you pretty satisfied with the level of impressions and engagement so far with your product categories?
Oh, absolutely. I know in the training I had when I first started with Helen, she let me know that there was already a bunch of ads out there, but she said to go through and look at the ones that are getting clicks, and if they're not getting clicks, just remove them. So I had to remove a lot of them that just were stagnant ads, and really I guess the person in the position that before me really wasn't utilizing the tool as well as it should have been utilized. And when I first came on there, I really was confused on, didn't really know how it worked. But now that I got that training with Helen and really opened my eyes to all the benefits of it. And so what I went with, I really just wanted to put, just to start out, was to see if it would work. I did 2 ads in each category, and obviously it did something right because it started working, which is pretty amazing. And I just plan on learning more about it and
awesome.
Excelling even more.
And so Ethan is also a very humble guy. But he's really dived into the product and the capabilities. So this is the broad review of the responsiveness, but now let's take a peek at it with actually online banking versus mobile. And so we've talked about this for quite some time, even though the somewhat similar, a little over 5,000 impressions on online banking and 7,000 on mobile. You can see mobile is generally higher because it's mobile, right? More accessible. But the responsiveness is just amazing across the mobile versus the online banking. And this tends to tell me that, again, your demographic, Ethan, is is a younger set of generations. Would that
Correct.
be pretty correct?
Yeah, we have a lot of younger employees of like the city and different subgroups that we're a part of that we allow to have membership here, and a lot of them are under 30, usually around under 35 years old. So they're always on their phones, and so definitely. And what was weird is that whenever I first got into the position, we only had 2 mobile ads out there. I think one was a mortgage ad and one was an auto loan ad. And I saw that when I first got in there, those 2 ads were the ones with the most impressions and the most clicks out of everything. And so that's why I was like, wow, we need some more mobile ads out there, because that's where all of our activity is. And sure enough, it is. We have a lot of mobile users.
You sure do. So excellent. So let's zoom in on one of the campaign categories real quick. So first of all, we just looked at the auto loan campaign, and we know you have several. And again, just in the month of March, 41 clicks on this ad, which is actually utilizing some of DeepTarget's new imagery. So way to go, Ethan. And then why the mobile responsiveness? So what Ethan has done, he's actually created 2 separate campaigns. One related to this one that shows this ad. So if the user is online banking or mobile, they'll see that familiar look. And then a standalone mobile ad that looks like this. And what you're seeing over here on the right is the combined results of both of these ads, actually driving some great responsiveness in mobile and this in online banking. And again, the freshness of the ad, the cleanliness, just the overall appeal has been really striking, and we can see that in the numbers. We don't show the April responses already, but I can tell you that the responsiveness in April has continued very, very strong as well. So much so in the month of March. Let's go into the couple other aspects. So Ethan did not prioritize any of his ads so that there was a good mix across all channels. And if the credit union did say, for instance, next month, we really want to focus on auto loans, he would prioritize those, certainly. But he has taken advantage of our rotating banner ads capability, and is doing 3 ad rotation for 8 seconds each. So Ethan, how is the banner rotation working in your opinion?
I think it's working well. I actually think I might make it a little less as far as the delay, because I have noticed that whenever I get on there, I'm super ADD. So if I see something, I lose interest really fast. And so if I see one ad, if it's not the first thing that strikes me, if it hasn't changed, then I may not be paying attention when it does, So other than that, it's been working awesome, because it's being able to show, multiple ads on the same screen. Of course, that's going to generate a lot more interest, I'm sure.
That's right. So everybody on the call today, please consider both prioritizing and rotating your ads if you're not already. Can have a really, really strong, dramatic impact overall. And so the overall impact for Ethan and the results he's gained, just coming into this totals the month of March, a total of 347 influenced accounts opens directly related to impressions and clicks inside of DeepTarget's. So that's fantastic. So much so that the trend since Ethan has taken over, I think you said about 3 months, right, Ethan?
Correct.
That's phenomenal. So great trend going forward, and we expect you to keep it up and continue to grow it as well. I think I have one more slide. Yeah, so this is the digital marketing management monthly management report, and right now the KEI is at 19, which is in the month of March. It took just 19 users on average to get 1 click, And the KMI, key impression indicator, it just took 42 unique impressions to receive a sales transaction. So that's astronomical. So all we can say is, Ethan, congratulations. Thank you for the case study. It wouldn't surprise me at all that some people want to reach out to you and discuss your strategy and so forth. That's awesome. So Ethan, if you'll just hang on the phone for a second, we get to actually now the Deep Target Awards time, right? Oh yeah. So the first one up today is going to be our digital marketing campaign of the month. So can you imagine who that's going to? But Ethan Blackstone, way to go, Ethan!
Yay!
Great work. We're so proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished, and the results are just amazing. So we'll get you a plaque out next week, and I hope you share that around the office and feel really good about the results. So and keep. Yeah,
I'm gonna hang it on my boss's door.
I know you're kidding. But I bet, yeah, that's exactly right. So fantastic. Good for you. So we still have one more award to give out today, and that is the Digital Marketing Superstar Award. So is there actually a FI out there that's done better than Ethan? Yes, there is, and it's Trademark, Federal Credit Union. Oh, my gosh. Melissa Good is doing a fantastic job there. Her KEI for the month of March was 7 users on average to receive a click.
That's tremendous.
Unbelievable. That's fantastic. And what is that related to? What could that be related to, Helen?
Personalization.
A personalized mobile ad. Oh my gosh, that's exactly right. We snuck Melissa's name in there. But Melissa, find your dream car deployed on there across both channels. But it's really had phenomenal results.
And it's a simple ad.
Simple.
It's a pleasant graphic. People like blue.
That's right.
It looks like you're dreaming, and it has few words, and the words are large, so you can read them, and they catches your eye.
2 seconds. Not saying that most millennials are ADD, and don't take offense to that, Ethan. But if you don't,
none taken.
If you catch their attention, you've got 2 seconds. I'll say it again. You got a half second with the image, and you got 1.5 seconds with the message to get them interested. And the results have been phenomenal for Trademark. So outstanding all the way across the board, even to the point of the KMI, 64 impressions to get a sale. So fantastic. Melissa, great work. Trademark, the team there. We're going to send you a plaque out as well next week. We're so excited. And, honestly, even though these are our top performers, there's a ton of you guys right there in the mix. And we're so amazed with all the things that you guys are doing. We're so happy for all our award winners. I do want to say, let us know if you guys have some really cool ads that you'd like us to promote and share, and request your success meeting so that we can sit down and actually go through your performance with you, because I know you guys are really busy and it's hard for you to have time to do that, but we want to share that with you, and we've got an ROI calculator that's really cool as well. So
if you can take a half hour of your time to meet with us, we'd be really happy to do that.
That's right. That's exactly. And for all of you guys that I keep reaching out to.
Flexible too.
That's right. Fantastic. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for being a part of the Deep Target family. Big round of applause for you guys. We'll be in touch. We're here to help. So thank you all for everything you guys are doing. You guys have a great Easter weekend. Okay? Right, Helen?
That's right.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Ethan. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.